Welcome back to AWE TV. I'm Mark Pizer, and with me is Chris Pickett, CEO of Pelican Imaging. Chris, thanks for joining us here at AWE TV.
Thanks for having me.
What can you tell us about Pelican Imaging? I want to know, is this a software company, is it a hardware company, or is it a mix?
So it's a little bit of a mix, but really at our core we're a software company, and we get the hardware made at partner contract manufacturers.
Okay. So you build out designs, hand it off to them, licensing,
That's exactly
lawyers, magic. Right.
Not so much lawyers,
okay,
but the software is where kind of our magic is, our algorithms, for creating an array of cameras that can passively sense depth, both in the near field and the far field simultaneously.
Okay, so I think I saw a mock-up or on the website, a component with 9 individual cameras.
Right.
And together, through some stereo array and algorithms applied, you get depth from that. And RGB color, apply a texture, you can create a mesh. How far is this all true? You can can you export? What else can you do?
Yeah, so we can do real-time depth sensing at video rate. Depends on how much compute that the OEM gives us.
Compute depth. Explain that.
Well, when you're doing passive depth, it does take a fair amount of compute to compute the depth from the stereo cameras. We've done everything from 16 image sensors on a custom chip, single chip, to a 3x3, to individual off-the-shelf 720p cameras in a 2x2 around a primary camera, where we take depth simultaneously with the RGB of the primary camera and can marry that depth to the RGB features.
To the RGB features.
Right.
Okay. And you have different versions of this, right? You have the 4, you have the 9, you have the 16.
Right.
Why would a partner approach you and choose one over the other?
So it depends on what you want to do.
Okay.
Some of the partners actually want to simulate or bring the color image together through the array.
Through the array.
And not through a separate primary camera.
Okay.
So we can do that. It's more compute intensive to compute both the RGB image and video with the depth map. Some of them, like for instance in the AR headsets, really all they want is a depth map. They just want depth, and so just doing depth, near field and far field simultaneously, high quality, is about half the compute of having to compute the image as well.
So cutting out, you only need one, you might as well cut down the computing to half. What have you done in terms of cameras on HMDs?
So we're working with some OEMs now.
Okay.
Essentially what we're doing is we're constructing multiple arrays. We're sticking those arrays on either side of the head mounted display. Because we have 2 arrays, we get from each array we get near field depth at 10 to 20 centimeters.
Okay.
A very, very high quality, like 0.1% error. And then when we get further and further out, we can use the 2 arrays to create far field depth quality at about 1% at 4 meters, 1.5% at 5 meters, and then it rolls off from there.
Okay. So how's that? I mean, you're now applying this into HMDs. Here at AWE, we have 8, 9 different HMD companies and providers. There's a reason you guys wanted to jump into HMDs. Explain that.
Well, so it's first it's an incredible area, right?
Sure.
The possibility to augment a human being is just kind of an awesome thing. Right?
Yeah, right. Superpowers, right? We've been talking about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, we're being asked to do less with our technology than we're being asked to do in a mobile phone iteration.
Say that again?
We're being asked to do less. And that's a good thing for a business. If we can just deliver depth as opposed to delivering an RGB with depth,
right,
we can move we can move more quickly and get to market faster as well.
Okay.
And basically it's half the compute, so we don't load up the processor as much.
Battery
Battery process. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Cool. So is this your first time at AWE?
It is.
Okay.
It's a great. I gave
Right.
a talk yesterday. It's a great. Lots of good traffic from really relevant people.
What have they been saying at your booth? Like, what are your partners saying also? Like, you get questions all day.
I think the thing that makes us really excited is they're excited that we can get depth in any lighting situation.
Sure.
Low light situations or outside in bright illumination,
Okay.
which is really, really hard to do when you're using a time of flight system or other structured light type of systems. And then our ability to calibrate the cameras on the fly in the field. What happens when you've got multiple cameras is you calibrate them in the factory, and then you've got these headsets.
Yeah.
You sit on them or something like
they
that.
get
They get out of
off kilter,
calibration,
yeah.
and then they produce garbage data.
Sure.
So we have a scheme to calibrate them on the fly, so they don't have to be you don't have to bring it back to the factory to get it recalibrated.
Right. Saves a lot of time.
So there's a lot of excitement around that as well.
Cool. What else are your partners saying? They've been using this. I mean, how do you work with your partners?
So essentially, we take their target specifications. We go to whatever contract manufacturer that they want to use. We help that contract manufacturer make the hardware, and we exploit that hardware with our software.
Okay. You provide the whole solution from
That's
there. What do you expect to see in the next 12 months? What can we...
Yeah, so the next 12 months are going to be a little bit crazy for us. We're very excited about it.
Crazy good.
Crazy good. I think by maybe Q2 of next year, there'll be some products that will be starting to come out probably for Q3.
Okay.
There might be something that we'll be able to show by CES as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a few months off, but...
It's not too far from now.
Well, you're planning ahead at least, right?
Yes.
You have to. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for stopping by the booth.
Thank you.
I'm glad we got to talk to you. This is Chris Pickett, CEO of Pelican Imaging. I'm Mark Pizer, and thanks for stopping by at AWE.tv. Thanks.